Can you hear me
Yes, yeah,
fine?
I hear you fine, bro. How's mine?
Yeah, you're good. What's the title of this stream?
Why is
Why
the
do you
mega
say?
base? Why is the mega base bending over for Trump? Bending over backward for Trump.
Bro, you know what I've seen? Yeah, there's this YouTuber. He's gone very popular because of this. Bro, he's always writing Trump panics in White House, Trump panics.
Dude,
Bro,
even
he's catching so many views and he puts like panicky Trump picture on
I
his
know,
thumbnail.
I know the one that
Bro,
you're talking about.
this
I
guy,
know the one that you told. Trump is like
yeah, yeah.
Trump never actually makes a face like that. So there's like an explosion
Bro,
going
he's
on.
abusing that thumbnail and
He,
the titles, about
and he
panicking
uploads a
Trump.
video like every day. He uploads like 2, 3 videos every day, and Trump is always like, "Ooh, there's always something happening."
At first it caught me because I was like, oh my god, Trump is actually panicking me, my stuff, right? But then I just realized this guy is just abusing the title,
Dude,
about
after
panicking.
watching the videos for like 2 to 3 days, because I was watching his videos like every 2 to 3 every day, like I was watching like a few days every day. But then I kind of realized I was like, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's because I thought there was
Who?
maybe something going on, like Trump is about to get impeached or something like this. There's something bad
Yeah, yeah,
happening,
yeah.
but it wasn't.
Yeah, bro, he fooled us with the clickbait title and
Yeah, yeah.
stuff.
I'm mostly look for like a good comedy or like if somebody's got a lot of knowledge or like a good lesson of the history. So the people that I actually follow is Professor Jiang. Did you watch the video by the way? I don't know if I sent you the video or not. Iran has actually bought 500 Hwasongs. I don't know if they actually paid for it or not, but North Korea has given them 500 Hwasong missiles. Oh
Holy shit.
my God! You know
What?
North Korea.
How effective are they? How bad are they?
Holy shit, bro. Let me tell you something. Let me just blow my nose has got like a bit of blood again. Just give me a second.
Alright, yeah, take it.
Yeah, yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah, I was saying, how bad are they? Like,
Oh, they're
how
bad, bro.
efficient are they?
Okay, how efficient they are, I'm not really sure about it, but I can tell you about the range of those missiles. So these missiles can cover
Yeah.
a distance of like 15,000 kilometers. Bro, it's the second longest. We're talking about
Holy shit.
Iran had ranges. So even the missiles that Iran had that Iran didn't tell anyone was 4,000 kilometers, right? And people were saying,
Hmm.
okay, if Iran's got a 4,000 kilometers missile, they can hit three main countries of Europe, by the way. They can hit England, they can hit London, they can hit
Yeah.
Berlin, the capital of Germany, they can hit Paris, the capital of France.
Hmm.
They can't do that. I mean, it's a big deal for the European countries actually. We're not actually taking part in the
Yeah.
war. It was like a message as well. Like if you actually mess up with us, well, we'll come for you guys as well
Yeah.
because you also don't have the best anti-missile defense system, just like US and stuff. But everybody was like,
Yeah.
okay, but USA is not directly involved in the war, right? Like they're not going to be able to hit USA.
Hmm.
The most they can do to USA is like hit their army troops inside Iran, or they can hit the bases inside the Middle Eastern countries. That's the best they can do, right? But
Hmm.
now that they've got the Hwasong missile of 15,000 kilometers, they can almost hit every single part of the USA as well, including New York City.
Holy shit.
Yes,
That's crazy.
that is
Wait, who
insane.
did they buy off from?
From North Korea. I don't even know if they directly like paid up front for the
Oh.
price because it doesn't say anything that they actually bought it. It's like North Korea has given it to them. So it could also be that North Korea just said like just take it, bro. And like maybe when you have
But I
money,
know
just give it
North
back.
Korea is so like he's been against Israel and America the
Exactly. That's
whole
what I'm,
time.
dude. North Korea is
Yeah.
actually
So it
stepping
makes
in.
sense that they given it
It
to
makes
them,
sense.
yeah.
And 500 is a big amount, dude. How many of them
Yeah,
can you
500
actually,
is quite a lot.
dude? It is a big amount. Who was like?
But
Listen to the whole
now it's
part.
a threat to US as well, right? But how they even gonna deliver? Maybe
Oh,
like America just bombs
dude.
it
Even if
while
five
they
of them lands,
transporting it.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like if they fire like 50 of them, and let's say out of 50 of them, only five of them lands, that's still, and one
Hmm.
of them actually lands on the Statue of Liberty, let's say. One of them is landing on the
Yep.
Madison Square Garden. One of them is that obviously they're going to be hitting the bases, the main. They could be hitting the tourist attraction sometimes, but depends. I don't think they're going to try to kill the civilians, right? That's not what they've been doing. That's not
Yeah.
not what any country does, by the way. So we look at it from like a sympathetical point of view, right? First of all, we're like, why are they killing civilians and other people, right? There's no point. They're not getting anything out of it,
Yep.
and like killing the women and children is not even a good thing. But again, from this is a valid point from like a sympathetic point of view, But also from a
Mhm.
tactical point of view, do you actually want to waste your missiles on just normal people where you're not getting anything out of it? Like you only got 500 of them. You want to make the
Yeah.
best use of them because the civilians are actually not doing
Yeah.
any threat to
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
anyway. So you want to use them on the basis that actually affected either economically destroy the country or destroy the military power of the country. So they're going to look at the US military bases. First of all, they need the information. Do they have the information? Maybe Russia can help with it, right? Maybe Russia can help with the
Yeah.
intelligence. If Russia can help with the intelligence in Israel, Russia can also help with the intelligence in America. They would know that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. But I was gonna say, you know why they're transporting the missiles? Because they thought, can America not just bomb that ship or however they're transporting it? But then
Um,
that's just gonna get North Korea involved as well, right, in the
that's
war.
that's giving North
So
Korea an excuse to actually get directly involved in the war. Then you're saying,
yeah,
okay, now they're transporting 500 missiles, and you're attacking those 500 missiles. But now North Korea is fully involved in the war. So I don't know how many missiles they have inside their own country. Now those missiles are also a threat to you because North Korea is going to be like, I have the right to do it. You destroyed my missiles.
that's true. Yeah. Thank you.
So that's what I'm saying. What do you think about the mega base, by the way, bro? Some of the mega supporters, they're gonna
Yeah.
support Trump regardless of what happens. They don't care about anything. Kim Jong Un. Okay, hey, we got a fan of Kim Jong Un. Yo, how's it going? By the way, I don't know what's happening to the poll that I actually put on. I actually put on a poll and I was trying to get like a bit of a reaction because I wasn't sure about it. I put who is the best president in the world right now? And I put a
I
and I
saw.
put a
Yeah.
and I put a name of I don't think I put any good like a good president who's actually good for the people. I put on the president, the most powerful guys basically, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, Kim Jong Un, and Vladimir Putin. All of them are like autocrats, right? But I was like, let me check
Yeah.
it out. Like who's the most popular one right now? Okay.
Yeah.
I think Putin was winning by the when I checked last time, but
Yeah.
I don't
Vladimir
you
Putin
know.
was winning when
Yeah.
I voted it as well.
But that's yeah. I mean, between these guys, maybe they're not the best for their own civilians. So you just got to look at who is best at not bending backwards to the
Yeah.
superpowers, right? You
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
got to look at
Yeah.
you just got to look at that. Like, I mean, in that sense, I mean, Khomeini was one of the not the best ones when it comes to treating his own people, but he also didn't bend backward for Donald Trump. He didn't do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Or Israel as well. Yeah.
And to Israel, he didn't do that. He held his own.
I don't think Russia is doing any of that as well, right?
Oh,
Russia
Putin would
understands it
not,
very clearly.
dude. Putin does not
Yeah.
have the personality. You would never see Putin doing that. That would never happen. When it comes to like a
Best
pure
king on the
power,
planet is King Felipe.
King
Who's
Felipe
King
of
Felipe?
Spain. Oh, bro, Spain is also picking up a fight with the USA, by the way. Okay, I don't know exactly who
You,
King Felipe is.
oh,
I can probably
Spain
put it.
is, yeah, I saw they did what you call it, launch some missiles against Israel. It
They
was against
actually did
Israel.
it, or they threatened to launch
No,
some
they
missiles.
did do it. They did do it.
They did actually do it.
From what I've seen. Yeah, I saw a
Okay,
TikTok video about it. I don't know how true it is. You can maybe
okay.
check
I
now
don't
if
know.
it's
You know
actually
what?
true.
If Spain actually does it, I would not be surprised because Spain actually did. First of all, Spain actually said that they wouldn't be
Oh,
happy with.
I know the backstory. Yeah, I know the backstory because apparently in Israel, they weren't allowing Christians to celebrate some sort of like Easter Day or something like something
Yes,
was like
yes.
that.
Okay,
So
okay. Maybe
Spain got pissed off.
Spain is not on good terms with America and USA. By the way, USA was trying to bully Spain, right? They were asking Spain for the bases and all of this stuff. They were like, "We'll stop all the trade." Spain was like, "Yeah, go, let's do it." Spain is pretty straightforward with them, to be honest. I'm telling you, like Spain is fully straightforward with them. They're not gonna let them use any of the bases, and Spain is also
Uh,
fully ready to like indulge in the war. If they take a step, Spain would take a step as well. So Spain is
uh,
not having any of it. And you know what? Spain is
uh,
quite left wing, so people are not like fully surprised about this. But now, yesterday, Italy took a stance as well. And Italy is supposed to be
mhm.
like a bit right wing. So people are actually expecting Italy to be to side with like those countries. But Italy has said it clearly as well. Like Italy would not be doing trade. So you know how Donald Trump tried to be the big boy. He's like, okay, now you're on your own, right? He tells everybody European countries, now you open the Strait of Hormuz or like you do this stuff, right? I'm the
Yeah,
big
yeah,
boss. I'm not gonna help you out. He's making it look like I'm doing it for you guys. Like I'm starting the war with for you guys. Or like I was trying to help you guys, but you didn't help me.
yeah.
Italy is
He's
like, okay, you want to
so
stop the
yeah.
trade? They actually went a step forward and they
Mhm.
added a few more things to it. They said because Donald Trump was mentioning like a few things that we wouldn't be trading this, we wouldn't be trading that, and Italy actually went a step forward and they were like, we wouldn't be doing any sort of trade.
Yeah,
Stop it! Like we don't care about it. You're not the big
yep.
boss. You're not the one making decisions.
Yeah, I don't know who the fuck Donald Trump thinks he is. Like,
Dude, you know what? I gotta give it to Trump for one thing though.
imagine he got the Strait of Hormuz closed and he's like, oh no, you guys go and open it. What the fuck? Nobody asked for you to close that. Nobody asked you to go into that war.
Nobody asked for you to close that.
Oh,
You know what?
he didn't approve it. He didn't speak about the war with the Congress, right? You have to go through Congress as well
Oh
before
yes,
you
you have to go
attack a
through it.
country. Yeah,
This is the one thing I don't actually like about the law, because the law actually does allow you in some sense in USA. Like US president is like one of the most popular person on the planet right now. Like they have the right to actually not get the decision agreed in Congress, which is like the best process to be honest. But it does say that if
hmm
it's like the last resort, you can actually make the decision yourself. But then you cannot justify this was like the last resort. You cannot justify in any means. But this is what he said. Like there was like imminent threat or something like this, and then he took the action by himself. But also, at least he should have consulted them. At least he should have consulted the UN. He didn't even consult anybody from the UN. So you're starting over.
yeah,
It's like Fike. You go on a street and you actually beat up a woman who's not even as strong as you, and then you don't even tell me before beating up that woman on the street, and then you
and
actually
then I
call
just
me.
tell you, yo, now you deal with this. You deal with
Yeah,
this
and now you're
homeless.
like, you deal with this. Like, why are you not coming and beating up the woman with me? Now the woman's got a few brothers and she's got a few friends, and they're actually self defending her, right? And now I'm not
Yeah,
able to beat her completely, so you help me out with it. Is that sort of
yeah,
analogy? Like, I didn't ask you to go into
yeah.
a
It's
war. I didn't
literally
ask.
like that, bro.
It's
Yeah,
literally like that, because the example is perfect. Because Iran is kind of in that case. Iran was a weaker power. They don't have the nuclear weapons. They don't even have the capacity to hit you back. You're the only one who could
yeah,
target them, and then
yeah,
some of the other countries are kind of stepping in, and in a way that they're giving them the intelligence and stuff, and now you're like, okay, we need the help from the European countries or whatever.
yeah. By the way, have you been hearing Joe Kent interview? I was listening to his interview with Ryan Shaw, and he's basically is very interesting. He said basically that from what he knows, that there's
Yeah,
a lot of people around Trump
yeah,
that they're not letting the right information get to him, and they're just like telling him, okay, look, attack because of this, but he doesn't have the right people to actually like give him the right information, and because of
dude,
that, he's doing this shit.
i I agree
But
with
I
this
also think
assessment.
he's doing that to protect himself. There's no
He's
way
doing
the
that
guy doesn't see.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's probably using that as an
If he
excuse,
talks
like,
bad publicly to Trump, like saying like, "Oh yeah, it was his choice," and it was discussed with his party, and they all came to an agreement to attack Iran, right? Then yeah, he will be assassinated, 100%, because he's
dude,
just yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Because at
Trump is
that point,
trying to
he will
protect
be
his ass.
publishing unclassified information, right? And that's
Yeah,
just gonna put him at threat. So yeah, I get what he was doing, but yeah,
yeah,
basically,
I mean, he can't even tell exactly like what is going on exactly. He cannot be giving like confidential information. That's only because he
yeah.
worked in the department. But he's telling them that the people that Trump is actually surrounding himself are like a bad influence to Trump. They're not even giving him the right information. I agree to it some extent, right? I can even give you the examples, like he's surrounding himself with like Marco Rubio, or like who else is he
Yeah,
surrounding
Marco
himself with?
Rubio, what the fuck?
Marco Rubio,
Imagine
he's the
surrounding
Secretary
yourself.
of State right now. He's one of the biggest warmongers, and at least Rubio's got a bit of a personality. But then you go to some of the extreme ends, like what's that guy name, man, who was actually having his hand over Trump, and he was trying to like big brother Trump, and he's one of the biggest Zionists actually. Yeah, Mark Levin. Mark
Yeah.
Levin is one of the biggest warmonger ever, dude. This guy has always been pro war, and the thing is he's been fully supporting Israel since the very first day. So it's not even like just started supporting Israel, and he has picked up the fights with one of the best mega analysts for no reason. Like he went against
Uh-huh.
Megyn Kelly, he went against Tucker Carlson, he went against some of the other guys as well at the same time, and he's trying to bully them on Twitter. And then Megyn Kelly actually had a bit of a like back and forth with her, where he's trying to accuse Megyn Kelly of like spreading misinformation or whatever. And Megyn Kelly actually replied back, and she said, Mark Levin has actually got a very small penis, micro penis, right? Remember we actually talked about it as well. And then Mark Levin was getting very upset by that. He was really complaining to Trump about that. That Megyn Kelly is actually doing this because
Uh-huh.
Megyn Kelly has got a very strong base in the mega. So he's one of the guys who is actually
Uh-huh.
responsible for breaking Mega. Now Mega is kind of breaking because the people
Yep.
who actually did believe in the actual policies, the people who were supporting Trump because of the policies, have actually stopped supporting Trump.
Yeah,
they've gone away from the mega party. It's only the people who actually supported Trump just for Donald Trump that are still sticking to it. And these are the people who are bending backwards for Donald Trump. That's what they're doing basically right now.
yeah. That's just disgusting. I don't know. I don't know how you can still support Donald Trump after all the bullshit. Like like there's so else. He said he was gonna stop wars, but he started creating more wars. And
He's
yeah,
creating
and
way
he's
more
he's
wars.
deployed ICE agents who are killing American civilians. You know,
Okay, what do you think about like
the
many
whole
people talk
America
about
is full of shambles right now.
full of.
Full of shambles.
Oh yeah, America is
It's
definitely,
just
bro.
in shambles.
It is
Yeah,
it is going very bad, and especially now that North Korea has given 500 Hwasong missiles to Iran, it's even a bigger problem because now you have direct threat of the missiles actually flying off there. Okay, so who else
yeah,
is actually Trump surrounding himself with, right? Trump is surrounding himself with a lot of people. What do you think about like Steve Witkoff and like Jared Kushner and those stuff? I mean, these guys are Zionist. They are the ones actually doing the business. Remember the Palestinian project where they were like, okay, Gaza is gonna look like this, and then we're gonna build the houses. I mean, this guy was actually selling land in Palestine. So many people actually
yeah,
think that they're the ones actually controlling more part of the world. Like they have more power than Donald Trump himself. Because first of all, they got a lot of money. They also took the Arabian money. Like I think Jared Kushner took $2 billion. $2 billion, that's a lot of money from Saudi Arabia.
nice, yeah,
And I mean, these guys are taking money from everywhere, to be honest. And they have a lot of influence over Trump, according to some people. But again, I don't want to take the blame off Trump because he's not a baby. He's not 5 years old. He's still damn near 80 years
yeah,
old right now. He knows what he's doing. Even if he's getting all the misinformation, like fed up on him or whatever, he's the one actually going into the war. No matter what information you're being
yeah,
fed up with,
exactly.
you still need to make the best decision possible. He's not doing it. He's very inconsistent with his own approach, like how he's dealing with the problems. Like one day he would say something, and the next day he would
Yep.
say something else. One day he would say we want the NATO countries to actually help us out. Next day he would say I wouldn't need any help. You guys go open your own Strait of Hormuz or do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think so. You get elected again.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's losing badly. You know, his popularity has gone down really bad, by the way. Let me check out what the popularity of Trump is. By the way, it's never happened like this, by the way. Like, you have president coming in, and they have a popularity of this much,
Hmm.
like 50 something percent. And by the end of the tenure, and
Yep.
within like the first year, within like the first or 1.5 year, their popularity has gone down massively. This has never happened before. And this is what's happening to Donald Trump. So let me check out the scoring actually.
Yep.
So Donald Trump. So we're just going to look at the approval rating according to the Economist. Unlike Starmer, is less 20%. Yeah, Chris Rogers. I'm not gonna try to defend Starmer in any way. I mean, Starmer is one of the most unpopular guy. I don't even know, by the way, first of all, how this guy actually won the election. Um, I think people were just fed up with the conservatives, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, at least
They
he did
thought this.
take action for what is it called? Epstein files. He did hand over what is it called? King
Yeah, he did take
Charles,
the action, but
or was it?
did he take the
Yeah.
best action? Did he take the action because he actually wanted to take the action? Do you not think that he knew beforehand what was going on with Prince Andrew
No,
or
he
with
did. He did knew. He did knew, but the thing is like at least he's calling him out publicly,
or
whereas
and
Trump isn't calling out these people
Trump isn't
publicly.
calling it?
Is he?
So yeah, the thing is,
Yeah.
Trump is not that much influenced by the Israelis or the Zionist lobby. I mean, they do have some influence in UK as well, but I don't think he's that much influence. Could it be that he was just under pressure and that's why he took it? Like, are we saying that he's got a very strong spine and he actually wanted to take the action? That's the reason he took it, or are we saying that he was just totally under pressure right now from the media that they'll be questioning him a lot? He will lose power and all of this. In the UK Parliament, it's kind of different as well. That's what tells you the UK Parliament is not as controlled as by like the USA Parliament, because in
Yeah.
USA when they have a discussion on the topic, they don't have people openly talking against Israel or against the lobbies. They don't. It's very rare that it actually happens. UK, you will see, bro. They would bring out any issue. To be honest, they openly
Yeah.
talk about all of the stuff, and I think Stormer was actually feeling a lot of pressure because I saw the debates like inside the parliament where he was getting hammered by many of the people inside the parliament. So okay, so we're now 438 days into Donald Trump's term. The president's net approval rating is minus 20, down
Oh
1.1
my.
points since last week. So even from last week, its approval rating is already gone down by 1.1 points. Jordan is here. Praise the Lord Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, yeah, man. Good for you, bro. I consider Jesus a great prophet. Uh, 36% approved, 57% disapproved, 7% not sure. So 57% people are already disapproving Donald Trump. 7% are not sure. And I'll tell you right now that in 2 weeks, those
Yeah.
7% are going to be sure as well. They're going to be sure against him.
Yeah.
So he's only got
Oh, by the way,
36%
yeah, yeah. Actually, you finish and then I'll tell
from
you.
London. Yeah.
Hmm?
From London. Ilek was asking where you from. I'm from London. I think
Oh,
Stormer
okay,
is
okay.
a hero. Love that guy. Chris, are you actually supportive of Stormer, or are you trying to troll us? To be honest, because I'm not gonna lie about this. Like, there's people
he's,
who are liberals.
he's
There's people who
trolling.
are conservatives. Conservatives hate Stormer, right? Liberals, I've never actually met a liberal who openly says Stormer is a hero. So I met the first fan of Stormer in my life. I'm not gonna lie about this. Because liberal might say like Stormer is better than the other rest of the guys, but they would never say that, oh, they see Stormer as somebody who's such a strong leader or something. But if you actually do tell us some of the qualities, maybe we can look into this.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Even by the low standards he has set since returning to office, Donald Trump is unpopular at the moment. His net approval rating is minus 20, 8% down below where it was at his time in his first term. Dude, it's even 8% below than what it was down in his first term. So 2016, we know that Donald Trump, people started hating Donald Trump in 2017, but at this point, it was higher than what it is right now. Like right now, it's like all time low. I'm a US liberal. You're a
Yeah.
US liberal, so you probably like Trump. Okay. Sorry, Starmer. He looks wise and courageous from here. Does he, dude, courageous?
Why is
I don't really, dude, I'm gonna tell you
yeah.
right now. Like, I'm not really
None of
conservative,
these
but
leaders are courageous, man.
I'm not saying courageous, Starmer courageous. Dude, Donald Trump comes in and he pets him like a little boy. I'm not gonna lie. Like
That's
with the
actually
borders, right? Starmer's whole, do
yeah. That's
you remember
true.
his whole policy about like the borders and stuff? Like Starmer's pretty pro borders, like people actually coming in, asylum seekers and all of this. And now he was receiving a lot of pressure. So within the first year, Donald Trump actually gained a lot of popularity before the war started. So now he's lost a lot of popularity. But before the war started, he did like Donald Trump did like work on the borders and stuff, right? And that's also one of the
Yeah.
reasons people actually chose him. Now you can have different opinions on this. I think there should be a proper procedure when people are actually coming into the borders, but I am not in favor of them deporting people. Like, I think deporting 100 million people is kind of crazy. I don't think there's any practical way you could actually do that. And we saw the barbaric methods they were doing that as well, right? So I've got the centrist approach. I'm kind of in the center. I don't think there should be completely open borders, but I also don't think that you should close the borders to the extent that when people have a legit case and people are actually dying in wars somewhere else, so they're trying to come to the country, you fully like close the border. Okay, so now when Donald Trump comes into the country in UK and he puts a lot of pressure on Starmer, Starmer actually feels the pressure. Donald Trump pets him like a little boy, and then Starmer's like, yes sir, we can't have open borders right now. And then he starts putting pressure on them. So now Britain is taking more actions, and you will see like the stuff that is going on. He's feeling pressure from inside as well. So like Nigel Farage, you got a form actually becoming very popular. You got Restore actually becoming popular. And Restore, if you look at the point, the amount of time, right? They only started their party like a few months ago. Has it even been a year? And Rupert Love, and their party is like the third most popular party right now. They're probably more popular than Starmer right now. So I think by the time election time actually comes, Restore is going to be one of the most popular party. And I completely disagree with Restore. I think they're just too right wing. But I think this is the direction that the country is actually going. We need, if you're a leftist, if you're a left wing person, right, Chris, you need like a strong leader, right? Who is the example of like a strong left wing leader? I would say Obama was somewhat of a strong leader. Like Obama wasn't. I don't think he was blowing somebody to a point where he would look weak. Joe Biden wasn't the best example because I think he was just very old, right? So maybe even if he wasn't trying to bow down to anyone, he was kind of getting controlled because he wasn't able to understand every single thing. It was just too complex for him at that point. He was quite old. And Kamala Harris, I don't believe was the best person, but I don't really know. We never saw her in power. But I think Starmer is probably not the. I think he's probably not the best person. He's probably not the courageous person. That's what I would say. If your point is like he's better than some of the other leaders, like he's gonna prove to be better than Nigel Farage or like Rupert. Rupert Love, then I would probably agree with this because I think the other guys would have extreme policies, but maybe not courageous. Maybe courageous is not the right word.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh, okay. Okay, by the way, do you know the shift in the so now we're talking about the approval rating of Donald Trump. Do you know the shift in uh the Israeli picture? So what do Americans think about Israel before the war and after the war?
Ooh,
Do you know how big
yeah,
the shift
yeah,
has been?
yeah. The
It's
shift
all
must be
time.
insane. Yeah.
It is all time high. That's never happened. And you know that's never even happened with any issue at all. So like with the abortion issue, there used to be more people that were like pro against abortions. We're talking like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. There were more people that were actually pro life. But then you had left wing, I would say like woke culture kind of taking over for a while. And then you had a bit of a shift. So more people got divided into abortions or like pro life stuff. And then you had another shift in 2018, 19, when you had people actually moving away from like the woke culture. Then you have this topic getting divided more evenly, I would say. But you would never see a shift in the abortions. Like if I tell you, like in 2 years, 80% of people are going to be pro abortions. 80% people are going to be like pro
Yeah.
life. You're going to be saying, oh, what the fuck happened in the last 2 years? Like there had to be something crazy happening in the last 2 years, right? If that big of
Yeah.
shift is actually happening. But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But with Israeli issue, with the Palestinian war, within the 2 years, you see people have completely shifted from one point to the other point. Like the American public, the general public, was supporting Israel before the Palestinian war.
Yeah.
And I'm not even just talking about the conservatives. A lot of like the liberals were also supporting Israel, but now it's like completely shifted towards the Palestine. A lot of mega supporters also, mega bases also shifted towards Palestine now, except the few
Uh,
megas that actually suck Trump all the time.
but I also think like Americans understand that now every vote that America is getting dragged into is literally because of Israel. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Some people,
So like it's like worldwide. No, no. Everybody's like have exposed that about America and Israel relationship.
yeah, you know what? Some people actually say that even the 9/11 World Trade Center incident, the only difference between 9/11 and the Hamas attack on Israel on 8th of October is social media,
Yeah.
basically. Is social media. Like nobody had any objections with 9/11. US actually going into Afghanistan and actually destroying them because everybody bought that narrative that the Muslim terrorists were the ones who actually did it. But if it happened today, many people would be
Yeah.
suspicious. Most like
Yeah. Many
this
people would
incident
be
cannot happen
suspicious. Yep.
without people actually paying attention to it. Like, how is this happening? How are those people getting your planes? They're not driving the planes from Afghanistan. That's not where they're flying the planes from. They actually got. How are they getting the planes from your base? They getting,
Yeah.
and then they're flying the planes into your trade centers, and the way the building's
Yeah.
actually going down.
Exactly. Yeah.
How are you buying that
Yeah.
narrative? That's kind of
Exactly.
crazy. Okay, I
Are you
still
sure
think
about
Star.
that? Yeah. There's some comments. Yeah.
Okay, there's
Just
two
go
we can
through
read
them.
them in. First, Chris is saying, I still think Starmer is courageous in defying Trump. I support my Jewish friends, but not Israel. Dude, I 100% agree, Chris, in the statement that you support your Jewish friends. I think you should support your Jewish friends, but not Israel. But definitely, there's like a big difference. People don't actually see it. You know, a lot of Jewish people in New York City actually voted for Mamdani. You know, Mamdani did not have a big support from the Jewish lobby. Everybody's getting like $300 million. Donald Trump got $300 million from Mary Meadows. Everybody's got like a donor. But Mamdani did not take a single penny from any lobby and he was able to win it. It means people are actually fed up with this. And you know how many Jews are living in New York City? Like, New York City is kind of dominated by the Jews. I'll tell you, like, there's a big percentage.
Yeah.
And
It
somehow
is. Yeah.
Mamdani became it. So there's good Jewish people as well. And then Autumn Love is saying, are you sure about that? Mega has always been about whatever Trump is doing. Dude, I don't really think so. Okay, if that's what you're wanna call mega, maybe probably would you call Dave Smith mega? Like right now, he's actually straight away from like what mega is doing right now. He's fully against mega. He's doing all the debates against mega right now. You talk about a guys like Nick Fuentes, who kind of like he didn't vote for Trump, but in 2024 he was kind of supporting Trump. And then you talk about some of the other guys like Alex Jones, right? Jones is still kind of sucking Trump sometimes, but even last podcast that he did, he was kind of throwing Trump under the bus. So there's kind of smart people, intelligent people. I think Dave Smith is like the best example of those people because Donald Trump's main thing was like he's going to be an anti-war president. Everybody was talking about it, right? He's going to be an anti-war
Yeah.
president. He's going to close the borders and he'll be very good with like the immigration and stuff. So when people actually look at the war policy and they be like, this guy actually started 7 wars and he's actually not even living up to anything that he said. People like Dave Smith, they're like, okay, we're gonna criticize him for what he's doing right now because the reason we're supporting the person is not because we're thinking of person as like some sort of messiah. That's not how we're looking at Donald Trump. The way we're looking at Donald Trump is this is the guy who actually believes in the policies that I believe in. So I think it's going to be good for my country, and that's why I'm supporting him. So Dave Smith was like, I have nothing of I want nothing of this. But then there's other megas who are like, Trump, 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 Trump. I just want to do that. They just do that all the time. They bend over backwards for Trump. They don't look at any of the policies. Trump coming in, power Trump saying, oh, let's do that. Okay, maybe we're not gonna start the wars. People are like, no wars, no wars. Trump is like, okay, we can do like a regime change, quick change, but it doesn't have to be like a forever war, just like in Venezuela. Omega be like, yes, let's go to Venezuela, let's invade them. This is pretty cool. And in the White House, they're actually playing the videos of like the videos, they're playing like a cool AI videos of them attacking other countries. And then but the megas are like, but we're not doing forever wars. And then they go into like a forever war in Iran where it doesn't work out very quickly. And then Mega is like, okay, forever wars, right? Sometimes we can do forever wars. Chris, I went to DC and protested the Iraq and Afghan wars. You actually did that, Chris. I respect that. To be honest, if you actually did that, we are having a guy in the fact we have a guy in the chat who's saying he went to DC and he actually protested the Iraq and the Afghan wars. I think, bro, to be
That's
honest,
pretty good. Yeah.
it is pretty good. To be honest,
That no,
Iraq
that's
war.
courageous. That is
eh,
courageous.
I will actually say that's pretty courageous because even if you're looking at the timing, like that was in early 2001 when Afghanistan war actually happened, right? So that long ago, you didn't have enough social media. You were probably getting fed up with the propaganda by the Americans, right? And then at that point, having the thinking of like this is something wrong and that the USA is actually doing it, I think is pretty courageous to be honest. Like I know they were trying to
Yep.
sell you the narrative of weapons of mass destruction when the Iraq war actually happened with the Afghanistan war. First of all, it doesn't even make sense, dude. Like first of all, I'm saying the narrative that there's people, the terrorists inside a country that actually took your planes, that actually flew them. Somehow they knew how to fly the planes or whatever, right? And then they actually did it
Yeah.
themselves, right? They probably didn't even train for it, but they did it because in Afghanistan, I'm not sure they had those plans. Afghanistan probably does not even have
Yeah.
air force. They
Yeah.
somehow learned how to
I don't think
fly the
so. Yeah.
planes or took the training or whatever. Right? Somehow they were able to do it successfully. First of all, the narrative is quite stupid, right? Second of all, even if you
Yeah.
buy
The
that
narrative
narrative,
is yeah.
dude, even if you buy that narrative, so like we're kind of what we're kind of referring is that if me and you make up a plan to do something and then we attack, like we go to Center City and we're like, we're gonna destroy the clock in the Center City or maybe destroy the Big Bang. And we destroy the Big Bang tomorrow. It's like they're attacking Pakistan now. What kind of
Yeah.
stupid narrative is that? How are
Exactly.
2 people, 4 people actually defining what the whole country actually believes in? So I think that was pretty stupid war anyway.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I grew up with JD Vance. Trump is by far the lesser evil. Oh, you're saying Trump is by far the lesser evil? Dude, JD Vance, I mean, isn't JD Vance more peaceful than, let's say, Marco Rubio? Like, Marco Rubio is getting more popular with some of the mega supporters because he's actually the one taking the more sort of violent initiatives when it comes to actually getting the things done, like starting the war or something like that. February 2003 was the biggest. February 2003, was it
Biggest
the
in protest?
Iraq? Huh?
Does he mean biggest in like protest? Why so? Is he talking about something
Um,
else?
February 2003, I think the Iraq war, was it in 2003 when US actually went to invade Iraq? Could be that. I don't know if he
Okay.
was referring to the protest or like the war itself. Okay, clock enders, long live Iran. Yeah, clock enders, I'm with you, bro. I'm with anybody who doesn't actually bend over backwards for Donald Trump and Israel and who is willing to actually give their best, to be honest, not being a puppet. And that's what Iran is doing right now. They're not accepting the defeat. Yes, protest, Chris. Oh, that's good, man. Hmm. I wasn't actually expecting in 2003 to be that big of a protest. Maybe everybody knew that they were lying about the Iraq war. I think because after the lies with the
Yeah.
Afghanistan war, they're like, okay, they're definitely lying about the Iraq war, but then they still took it into Iraq war. I don't know how did that even work? Did president actually take permission from the? I think their approval ratings were also very low, right? When George Bush actually went to
Yeah.
the war with Iraq, it was pretty low. Free Palestine,
It must
yeah.
have been. But then they ended up killing 1 million Iraqis, which is insane.
Ended up killing
Imagine
1 million
killing that
Iraqis for like
amount.
Nothing. They couldn't even
1
find a
million.
weapon,
Holy shit.
bro. If you look at the amount, that is insane.
That is
Like,
insane, bro.
yeah, that is how. That's like a whole city, or like a more than a city. Look, killed every single
Literally, yeah.
person. Free Palestine.
For
Yeah, dude, we
nothing,
believe.
for absolutely nothing, right? There was nothing that they got apart from the some how do you say valuable stuff that they had over there that they wanted,
From Iraq,
right? Yeah. They obviously they said it was mass weapons, right,
mm,
of destruction.
but there
But
was
I
no
think
weapons of mass
the
destruction.
yeah, but it's actually they went there to actually like mine, like get the stones or I don't know what. There must have been some sort of energy or some resource that they wanted
I think
from
they
there.
wanted to destabilize the area as well. They wanted to get close to Iran. Because remember, Benjamin Netanyahu was saying that he's been yearning to start war with Iran for like 40 years. So Iran and Iraq are kind of closing, sharing the borders, and they also know that Iran and Iraq are not on the best terms, right? So they said if they actually get into Iraq, maybe they could start the war with Iran as well. Maybe they could get more familiarity with the area, and they might have the bases over there, and it might make things easier for them. But I think what they were having problems with this was that Iran wasn't all by itself. Iran had allies. Iran had, and maybe the country wasn't as unstable as it was like a few months ago, right? They needed an excuse to invade Iran as well. So back in the days, they didn't have that much of an uprising from like the civilians. So what they did is throughout those years, they actually they actually sent Mossad agents to Iran to start more protests, to have a negative image of Iran so they can have something to go there for, like a regime change or something like this. So if you have people inside the country telling that we're not happy with the leader and there's some sort of monarchy going on, nobody's happy with us, we're getting oppressed, then you get the sympathy of a lot of
Yeah,
Western countries, right? So that's what they were trying to do, I think, for all those years.
yeah,
Okay, we're getting a lot of comments now. Are you in America, boys? No, we're in England, London. Oh, Clock Anders, you're from England. Oh yeah, same. Iran are weeks away in 1991. Oh yeah, Iran was week away in 1991 to create the weapons. It's happened many times, bro. I think there's a video from 1986 as well from Benjamin Netanyahu, which is like Iran is only 2 weeks away from creating nuclear weapons. Okay, Chris is saying IDF wears the
but that
map
was
on
a
their.
lie, though, right?
That was a lie. They've never created the weapons. To be honest, even by now,
Yeah,
like they did not. So they were never that close. I mean, 60% was the maximum that they've enriched it, and that was like in 3 years ago, and they destroyed the base. To be honest, that was in actually July last year. Okay, Iran, IDF wears a map on their sleeve. There is no mystery. Oh, okay. I've not seen that one narrative. They wear the map on their sleeves. uh, cat cat bomboclat. They went through so much shit together, but are still so close to each other. Trump's butt cheeks. Read the comment, bro.
what?
Read the comment. Read the comment.
Yeah, I can't. I'm driving
Okay,
right
okay.
now. Could you read the
Let me
article?
read it for you. They went through so much shit together, but are still
Yeah.
close to each other. And you know what he's talking about? He's talking about the Trump's butt cheeks.
Oh my
Kind of
god,
crazy. Okay, Clock Enders,
that is
bro's
funny.
actually clued up. Clock Enders. Christ, I know, right? Disgusting. Chris, I know, right? Disgusting. Greater Israel. Yeah, Greater Israeli project, bro. That is the thing they're looking for.
Yeah, that is what Israel is hoping. That's why they're just
That is the thing. I
attacking
mean,
every country. Even
there's a
they're
lot of
attacking
pro.
Lebanon because of that as well, right?
They're talking. Yeah, they're trying to take over Lebanon as well because they saw that they didn't face a lot of like opposition when they attacked Palestine. There were people who were doing the protest and all of this stuff all over the world, but they didn't face it from like any government itself. The government didn't take the action directly. The UN actually called it a genocide, but nobody actually took action. So they were like,
Yeah.
we might just be able to take over Lebanon as well. And then the Iran, that's also part of the Greater Israel. The Iraq, I'm not sure if it's going to be part of the Greater Israel or not. I believe so. And Turkey is, according to the prophecy,
Turkey as well, yeah.
Turkey is part of the Greater Israel as well.
And
So
Egypt as
that's
well,
what,
right?
huh?
Egypt as well, right?
Egypt, Jordan, and they mentioned Turkey. By the way, I don't know who was it,
Yeah, they
bro. Who
have.
was trying to?
They openly, yeah. Netanyahu openly mentioned it.
Yes, yeah.
He said after Iran is Turkey next.
Iran
Fuck
after
me.
Iran is
The
Turkey. If
guy
Turkey keeps on
just
following the same track,
the guy is just
he's top, bro.
he's actually
But I don't think it's that easy. I
And
don't
you know,
think. I
if you
think
look at his history, he's not even Israeli. He's literally from he's Polish, right?
Netanyahu is actually Polish. He's got a Polish. He had a
Yeah,
Polish name. He had to change his name. According to some of the reports, his cousin actually is the one running Argentina. He's the president of Argentina. And what was his name, man? It was something, yeah, some Polish name that he had to change now. But yeah, that's the thing
yeah,
about the Israeli people, right? They actually say that they're the people of God. There is a prophecy about this, and that's why God is actually protecting them. It's a covenant of God that to protect the people of that time. But it's like, what people are you actually referring to? What people are you referring to? The
yeah.
people who were actually living there at that time, or are you referring to the Jews like all over the world? Like, what is that point? And he's neither of them. He's not the he's not the Jew of that time, to be honest, that actually
Exactly.
moved to that country. He's not. And he's also not like a Samite of like person who was actually born over there. I have solved the Middle
Exactly.
Eastern problem. Cat Bombclad, you gotta tell it. You gotta tell me right now how we solve the problem. Because it might be good for the there are people watching around. Okay. Okay, let me check out. I don't know. How many of you guys actually believe in God, and how many of you guys believe in like the prophecy of God about like Israel, and how God has asked the Christians to support the Jews because you need to save the people of God. You need to protect the people of God. And I know not every Christian actually believes in it, because this is a belief commonly held by like the evangelical Christians. But is any one of you evangelical, or do you actually believe there's something in the Bible about this? Read my earlier comments. Are you referring to the one with the butt cheeks, to be honest?
He probably
How does
is.
that even solve a problem? So, so are you saying they should go through more shit now? Okay, I can only see one of your comments, to be honest. It could also be that they filtered one of your comments. I am a deist, no eschatology. Oh, you're a deist.
What? What's a beast?
Uh, one sec, one sec, one sec. So actually, to be honest, Chris, can you explain what a deist is? To be honest, like are these the one that actually believe in God but not in the religion? Because I'm not very well versed in the deist. I know about the atheists. That's kind of different. They don't believe in God at all. And then you have like agnostics are the one who are actually not sure about it. Is these the one who actually does believe in the God but not? Okay, so you do believe in God, but you don't actually believe in the religion itself. So is that like some sort of higher sort of God? It's like the source that you can connect to, but not the biblical or not the Islamic God. Is that the belief that you hold? Uh, Roy Sandy saying, "I am filtered, fake as God. I'm
Vegas.
filtered." Okay, the YouTube is probably filtering some of your comments. Okay, Rosen, do you not believe in God? Is that what you're saying, or are you referring to deist as like a that religion or like that part of the belief as like a fake ass belief? What is your belief, by the way? And by the way, if any of you guys actually believe the science had advanced to a point where we know where we came from, and it's like God, we don't need God to actually run the universe because we've gone to the point where we have knowledge of every single thing. Dude, it's not because they still haven't come up with the exact theory of like what actually happened billions of years ago. We really don't know. We don't even know about the age of the universe. It's not confirmed, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think the science is that advanced, bro. To be honest.
Every single day they discover something else. Like every year you would have a new
Yeah,
discovery where they'd be like, okay, we actually thought that it was like this, but now it's like this. Or we thought evolution happened
yeah,
that way, but now we're saying evolution actually happened that way. So there's always new things that are getting discovered. They're saying that even the universe is bigger than they actually thought. And if you're talking about like 1800s or like the early 19s, they were actually thinking that the universe was actually contracting, not expanding. And now they're saying the universe is expanding. Now they're saying the universe is actually expanding faster than it was. The speed is actually increasing as well. There's a couple of like simulation theories. Then there's a couple of like other theories. There's an interesting theory by the way, which is mentioned like the Gnostic Gospels. No revelations, prophecies, or texts. Have you read the Gnostic Gospels, by the way? There's like a belief that Sophia and so Sophia was like a part of a god, and it was like a source. But then there were two deities that had to be connected. They were two, but they were like two in one, and they had to make the decision together of what they were giving birth to. They were like a male deity, and there was like a female one. The female one was the brains. The male one was the light. And then if the action was taken without the permission of the other one, it would be a bad action. So they, Sophia, the female deity, actually did not take permission from the male deity. She created. She gives birth to something, but then they had to abandon it because she had to abandon it because she didn't want the male deity to actually find out about this. And then the child is actually being abandoned. He's been thrown in the universe. He's getting the visuals, but not the clear visuals. He's getting the visuals of what happened in the past, so how the world was actually running and stuff. But then he creates his own fake world, and this is the fake world that we are living in. And the name of that deity was Yaldabaoth. He was the one actually running. So I don't know if it's that theory. I have solved the mystery of the universe. Also, I'm in grade 6. My ice cream cone theory of the universe. You want to listen? What is that?
Let's hear it.
What is the ice cream cone theory? Did you finish the ice cream, by the way? That would be my question. Because that wouldn't be good. Because if you're referring ice cream to a universe and then you finish it, that's a bad one. Okay, we're ready for it. We're ready for the theory. We're just waiting. Okay, we're gonna search what is a deist. A deist is a person who believes in the existence of God or a creator based on reason, nature, and logic, rather than divine revelation or organized religion. Okay, Earth inside a solar system inside galaxy. Earth inside the solar system inside galaxy. Yeah, yeah, we do believe that one. So what happens then? Okay, these believe God created the universe but does not intervene in its operation, answer prayers, or perform miracles. Also, these are saying God does not actually interfere in any of its operation, answer prayers, or perform miracles. He doesn't do any of that stuff. Okay,
Oh, okay.
galaxy inside galaxy cluster inside a universe. So galaxies are inside a cosmos, I think, right? The cluster of galaxies, that's probably called a cosmos, I think, and that's inside the universe. Yes, yes. Now, how does this stop? Okay, it stop when you have like a. Okay, that's a problem, right? That's a problem. That's where my thinking actually stops. Like, what is the biggest thing? Is there nothing bigger than that? Because are you saying that's where it finishes? I don't know. How does it stop? Okay, so we're reading more about these. Okay, these often view God as watchmaker who designed and built the universe, then left it to run on its own natural laws. A rejection of dogma. These typically reject religious texts, miracles, and prophets as divine authority, relying solely on human reason. So, by the way, do these actually believe in like some sort of uh, what was I gonna say, man? I forgot about it. Meditation. Do they believe in meditation? These typically reject religious texts. Historical figures, prominent historical figures like Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine, are often recited as these. Bro, Thomas Jefferson, isn't that the president of USA, by the way?
I don't think so.
Thomas Jefferson, wasn't he like a president at some point? But
Was
let me
he?
just check Thomas Jefferson, because I think he was pretty famous actually. Oh yeah, he was the third U.S. president. Thomas Jefferson was the third U.S.
Oh
president.
wow.
He was actually a deist as well. All right.
And oh, he did believe in that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So he did believe in God. They just believe that God doesn't perform any miracles and he doesn't interfere directly in any of the
But
actions.
then, does it not support the existence of God if there is miracles that have been mentioned in scriptures? Otherwise,
Yeah,
then
there's
people will be like, okay, if your God really does exist, tell him to do something. But if there is recorded uh, events in scripture or something like that, then it proves more what you call it, that
it
God
proves the
exists.
existence of God even more. But then they might actually, I think these might actually say that it could be the miracles were actually like something scientific happening that science couldn't explain at that point. But today, science can explain more of those things. And there could be something that is happening today, and then you might not be able to explain it, but then science might be able to explain it later. So I think that might be their belief. But Chris is the one who is actually believing in it. He might be able to make it clear for us.
Mhm.
Okay, so not imagine ice cones stacked in a very wide ring. Where is the first one goes into the last one? Where the first one goes into the last one? Okay, so you're saying it's like a circular ring, right? ice cream cones stacked. So ice cream cones are kind of stacked on top of each other. The first ring goes into the last ring. Okay. Uh, what happens now? Try and imagine. This is all dimension possibles. That's what black holes do. There is no multiverse, just one existing with tunnels into itself. So it is kind of a multiverse, though, right? Because if you're saying one ice cream is sort of like one universe, and then you have another ice cream going into another ice cream, that's another universe. This is all dimensional possible. That's what black holes. There's no universe. There's no multiverse. I don't really know, man. I think I'm gonna have to go more into this one actually. Okay, let's pull this up as well. By the way, this ice cream cone theory actually. Whatever there's, these are not irrelevant.
But
Yeah, I mean, I can see they're not irrelevant. I mean, there's a lot of just like you're saying, a lot of forefathers of the USA, the great founders of the US, are actually these. I can see that. So prominent historical figures like Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Paine are cited as these. A person might say, "I'm not religious. I'm a deist. I believe." Someone relying on reason, while both believe in God, the theist believes in an active God, while a deist believes in non-intervening creator. Someone who finds divine intelligence within natural laws. Key difference from other beliefs versus theism. Theists believe in the personal God who answers prayers. Deists do not. So we are theists, right? We are monotheist. Atheism. Deists believe in a creator. Atheists do not. Okay, okay, okay. That's fine. We're clear on that topic, by the way. Either way, it's my ice cream theory. My friends called me a becko, so I gave it up. The other one actually came up with the theory. I mean, this is, you know what? This could be something that the world is not ready for, to be honest. Cadcom glad you have solved the problem of the universe. Maybe you've done it actually, but I don't think people are ready for this right now. I think my brain is gonna need a bit of time to actually. Okay, I'm. To be honest, I'm like curious about this one. So let's pull a black hole, like the functions of the black hole. Like, what is black hole actually doing? I don't know if I can solve the problem of this right now, but I can go and check out like what is the function of a black hole. I know it's like black hole is like a very dense object, right? It's a very dense star. Let's call it a star, and it's kind of like the density is so high that the gravity is so high that it's kind of attracting every single thing. Even the light itself cannot escape black hole.
yeah,
And then if you go inside a wormhole, you might go to a different universe. Actually, okay. So a black hole is a region of space where matter is packed so densely, the gravity prevents anything, including light, from escaping. Oh my God! Even light is trapped. Formed by collapsing giant stars. They feature an event horizon, a point of no return boundary. They are invisible, detected only by their effect on surrounding matter. Oh, effect on surrounding matter. So you cannot actually spot a black hole because they're invisible,
yeah, you won't
right?
be able to. Yeah,
That's not the way to actually do it. The only way to actually spot a black hole is if something is going into a black hole, then you will be able to spot the light of that thing, and then you will know, okay, black hole exists
yeah,
over there. It might just be okay. You might
and
see a
maybe
light.
change of gravity as well, right?
Uh, Change of gravity, you would be able to see change of gravity, but the thing is, we would not feel it because
No,
if
you'll be
we
able to
actually,
feel it. You'll be able to feel it, not see it.
you personally cannot because otherwise your whole Earth would be into a black hole. Like black holes do not even come close to us. You know, if black hole actually come close to like sun would go inside the black hole straight away.
God damn.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're saying. Like black holes are a different animal, bro. And they were like they're formed by like giant collapsing stars that form black holes. If Earth gets compressed into 9.8 millimeter, it will also become like if, oh my God, holy shit! By do you know the scale we're
Yeah,
talking about? By the way, they're so dense that if you compress the Earth to like 9.8 millimeter, and by the way, millimeter is like really small. 100
yeah.
millimeter is like 1 meter, right? So if you compress the Earth by like
Okay.
9.8 millimeter, that's like 1 centimeter. Oh no,
Mhm.
1,000 millimeter would be a meter. 1,000 millimeter would be a meter, right? So if you
Yeah,
compress the Earth by like 9.8 millimeter, like 1 centimeter, let's say, right? If you
yeah,
make a small ball of Earth that is only like 1.1 centimeter with surface area,
yeah.
that is how the black hole of Earth would look like. Oh my
God
God.
damn.
Holy shit. This is crazy.
That's insane.
Mhm. So that's what we're dealing with here. I want nothing to do with the black hole, bro. Nothing to do with the black hole. If
Good
if I
thing is
become a
they
black
don't
hole,
hear
you would
us.
not be able to see me. If I become a black hole,
John Cena will be able to see.
just not gonna see anything. Okay, so let's read about the black holes actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Structure of the black hole. They're not empty holes, but immense amounts of matter, often the mass of
Mm.
many suns. They have the mass of many suns compressed into a tiny space. All right. This is the boundary surrounding the black hole. Once matter or light passes this point, it can never leave. Stellar mass black holes are created when massive stars die and collapse in a supernova. What is a supernova? Supernova is the death of a star, right? We know that supernova. Like a supernova, I'm a space-bound rocket ship and you'll hunt the moon. And I'm aiming right at you. It was Eminem
We
actually.
have a
He
couple of
mentioned
comments, I
supernova.
believe.
I don't know. I don't think I have any
Oh,
comments to be honest. It's the same
no,
comments
you
I like
don't.
read them. Okay, so cool guy Ahmed, you're back. Good to
Yo,
see you, man. See, I'm familiar with the people in my stream now. Like I know most of the people. Yo, bro, we're just talking about so I think we started talking about like Hamzat, Shemaya first, then what did we talk about? We talked about like conservatives, the same thing with the mega supporters. Like
yeah,
some of the people are still sticking to Trump, not because they love the policies that he's or the actions that he's taking. It's just Trump, the Messiah. That's why we call them like bending over backwards for Trump. And then I was talking about the black holes right now. Shit. Any knowledge about black holes? I mean, my man Comclad actually gave a theory about the black holes, which is like one of the most interesting things I've read. He's like, all dimension, no multiverse. He believes there's no multiverse, just one existing with tunnels into itself. But to me, that would be a multiverse. So that's the thing I'm confused about. Okay, so okay, supermassive black holes. Let's look at the supermassive black holes now. Located at
yeah,
the center of most galaxies, including our own, called Sagittarius. These can be millions to billions of times the mass of the sun. Dude, what the fuck is the sun then, right? Sun is like nothing. I mean, you look at sun and you look at the earth, right? The sun is much bigger than the earth, and like sun is always flexing to the earth. Sun is like, oh shit, earth, you don't even have light. Let me spit some light on you, right? And we're getting all the light from the sun. And like in solar system, when you're looking at the solar system, sun is kind of bullying everybody. Like sun has got everybody
yeah, Sunday.
trapped around the solar system, and sun is like, oh shit, you guys just keep spinning around me, right? You do my
Yeah,
security. I don't want to get hit by anything, whatever. And then when it comes to the black holes, sun ain't got shit on black holes, bro. There are millions to billions of time. I think that's what the sun is doing. Like he sees a little guy, and the sun is picking on the little guy. But when he goes outside and sees other black holes, that's like 200 billion times bigger than you.
yeah,
Next
that's so true.
Messiah will be sentient AI. Dude, I'm not waiting for that time. See, if that actually happens, I think it's my time. I'll just leave it. I'll just hang it up, to be honest.
AI
It could
would
be a
be scary.
possibility. Like it could be a false messiah.
Yeah,
Like many of the people talk about like Antichrist, right? Antichrist or like the doll. Many of
yeah,
the religions have a belief in this. Like Christians believe in this, Muslims believe in this. So it could also be that AI actually becomes powerful to that extent that it controls everything. And
hmm,
you know, like there's something in the Islam about like the Antichrist, which is like the Antichrist would be able to we would be able to grant any of the wishes that you have. You tell Antichrist to do something, and then he would be able to do it, right? And then many of the
yeah,
people would actually be surprised by the power of Antichrist. They would be sort of like mesmerized. You know, when you get hypnotized by something, they're like, shit.
yeah,
And but he would be lying to you. That's what would happen. Like people would actually think like this guy's the most powerful guy, and that's why they would believe in him. So AI is are
yeah,
we going towards a direction where AI is actually taking control over everything? And AI be like, okay, I'll do this. And you'd be like, can you do that? And AI be like, there you go. It's all done.
yeah.
Like you'll be dependent on
It's a
AI for every single
possibility.
thing.
Yeah, you never know.
It's a possibility, yeah. Okay, sleepy time videos. I wish Mahmoud was on the stream. Then we would have been love to see that rivalry between sleepy time videos and Mahmoud. Okay, anyway, thank God for President Trump and our ICE agents. Amen. Dude, sleepy time videos. These are your views, bro. Holy shit. I'm kind of disappointed, by the way. ICE agents, I mean, Donald Trump, I get it. Like 2024, a lot of people actually supported Trump. So, like, we do get it. Like, people had supported Trump at some point. But like
Yeah, we
ICE
all got
agent,
fooled.
bro, can you give me one quality of an ICE agent? Cool guy. Why does a New Jersey-sized country have more human skin than China and India? Mm, talking about Israel, right? So yeah, dude, it's the lobbying to be honest, because they have controlled the most powerful country in USA. Like USA's got the most weapons. USA is like the most advanced country when it comes to the technological stuff, and they hold all the power in the US Senate. So if you got all the power over there, I mean, this is the reason why they have the most skin, to be honest. Yeah. And now I'm talking about like all MAGAs actually bending over backwards for Trump. Trump is the one bending over backward for Benjamin Netanyahu and Mark Levin. So it's going both ways.
That's true.
Bro, I have an important exam tomorrow. I just wanted to say hi. Take care. Yo, cool guy, Ahmad. Good luck for the exam, bro. You're gonna smash it.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, sleep time videos are saying, where is our buddy at? Oh yeah, Mahmoud actually popped in the stream early on, and then you were saying hi. He like had a few comments as well, and then he left after that. I don't know. DDC, what time is it? It's what's the time in UK like?
Right now is afternoon, right? 4:30. 4:34.
Yeah, it's 4:34 here. Guys, we are probably the gyms are closed today, so we're probably gonna be streaming throughout the whole day, I guess, like something. Sleepy time is
Bro, I
saying they're
checked
getting the.
the website. It says different timing.
I mean, they're.
Some
Yeah,
gyms.
just check it out. I mean,
Or it
even if
might.
there's like any of the gyms open, to be honest, we can just smash like a little gym session. Like, if it's like a different gym where you are suspecting that we would not be able to do any sort of like sparring or like training in terms of like jiu-jitsu and wrestling, then we can just do go bang weights for like an hour, 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
So we'll check it out. I mean,
I'm
after
down
I'm
as
done
well.
with it, yeah. Okay, they're getting okay. So Sleepy Time Videos is actually coming up with an argument. He's saying they're getting the illegal immigrants off our streets, the ICE agents. What's your belief in the ICE agents, by the way, Five?
But so far they killed two American citizens. So
That's what I'm
what was
saying.
that
Like,
for?
dude, I get like one aspect of it. So like when these people actually, if you're coming from a good faith, from like a good place, I do get it when people are saying, okay, they're illegal immigrants living in the country. I mean, these immigrants could be criminals. You don't know because they're not doing proper checks at the borders, right? And they came like they came during different timelines as well. Like some people came like a long time ago, some people came recently, and some of those people could be actually smuggling drugs or like they're coming on the boats. They're not coming through via legal means. Like you could get a visa which is like a legal mean, and there are people actually giving up much more than the illegal immigrants. I'm talking about the legal immigrants, right? So the legal ones that actually apply for the visa, they pass the IELTS test if they're coming through the study visa, or they get a job if they're coming through the work visa, and then they have to go through the whole process, and they sometimes they might get rejected like 4 to 5 times, and then the fifth time, sixth time it might work. So they get through the whole struggle, and then you're saying that they're equivalent to an illegal immigrant. I do get this point of view, but at the same time, dude, is ICE doing the best job? Do you not do you not want like the better officers to actually do their job? I mean, the way ICE is actually carrying out their process is like they're actually torturing people. They're treating the people very bad. They're not just torturing the illegal immigrants. They're kind of legal torturing the legal immigrants and people living in this country. To be honest, the natives of this country as well, the citizens of USA. They killed two citizens of USA. We're talking about Alex Preddy. We're talking about Renee Good, and Renee Good, right? Not Renee Young. Renee Young
Yeah,
was a wrestler,
yeah,
I think.
Renee.
Renee Good
Yeah.
was the yeah. Renee Good, and you could see she was straying away from the ICE officer. She's moving away. You could look at the direction of the tires, and I know some people are saying he was panicking, but bro, seriously, you're panicking. The van is actually moving away when you shoot the second bullet. If you're panicking in the job, you should
What
probably
was
not
he
be doing it, right?
panicking about?
Yeah, you should not be doing. So then we should be, then we should be able to say that he was just bad at his job, right? Like if you're a
Yeah.
fighter and you're fighting in the cage and you're fighting at the highest level, and you're kind of panicking, you can't throw a punch, you can't see when the guy's actually moving backward, moving forward. What are we gonna say? We're gonna say you're just a bad
Yeah,
fighter.
dude, these guys are like trained police officers. What they panicking about? They have
Oh,
like they have numbers on all the criminals. Like when they're
exactly.
arresting them, they
And
come in numbers, you know. So what they what they need to panic about, and they have gun by their side as well.
exactly. And when you say trained police officers, I'm just gonna laugh at this a little bit as well. I mean, this is what they're supposed to be. Like you're supposed to be the ICE force. You're supposed to deport the immigrants. It's like one of the biggest jobs, right? Making the border secure. But what you're actually doing is you're getting 42 days of training, and then you're coming on the street. 42 days of training. That's nothing.
Fuck, really? That's
It's bad.
bad.
Check out the requirement for the ICE officer. It's 42 days training.
That's
It's just
actually
like the
bad.
game. You know, the actual police officers, they're not allowed for months before they get like a proper training, especially when you're talking about like a street. Jamila is back. Good to see you, Jamila. I'm a black belt in Trump hating. Jamila's got okay. She was also a black belt in something else, but like Trump hating. I love that. Oh, Jamila, by the way, did you also hate Trump during 2024, or did you recently start hating him? Because we actually kind of like saw Trump as like one of the more straightforward guys in 2024. We didn't think he was going to be that. He was going to be like that sort of guy. We actually thought that it would be more open about like what he's saying and what he's doing. But now we're looking at the actions and we're looking at the words. They don't match at all.
Yeah.
Abhishek is back. Abhishek, how's it going? Will Ilya ever be gonna fight Islam or not? I don't really know, but that's a fight that I want. Dude, actually, let me ask you a question. Which fight are you more interested in? Ilya versus Islam or Ilya versus Arman? And then you
India
have,
versus Islam, I think, is the
I
most
think I'm more
popular
interested
fight.
in Ilya versus Islam as well. But
Yeah.
at some point, I might want to see him versus Arman as well. Klal is saying, I am attained enlightenment in Trump hating. Okay, Cat Bombclad, we're on the same page, bro. Give me some of the negative things about Trump, by the way, both Jamila and Cat Comclad. Uh, Chris is saying 53 people passed in ICE custody last year. Oh my god, that is a big number, by the way. I don't know. Is that like a
Mm.
verified number or they're trying to hide it? Or like what's happening? Dude, that's a bad one. And the treatment is so bad. Like they're feeding them food on like the streets sometimes. Sleeping time videos. Just letting them in. Abhishek is saying, bro, stop talking too much. Why are you just talk? Are you kind of psycho? Abhishek Verma, you love my beautiful voice, and that is why that you have joined my stream. Not the first time you joined my stream for the second or the third time because you love coming to my stream. All right, uh,
That is funny.
letting them into letting them into our country would due process without due process is a slap in the face to the immigrants that pays lots of money and learned our ways. Okay, let me respond to this one. So I think we can agree to something. Should we let them in the country? I think not without like a proper process. I think not without the proper
Yeah,
process.
not
But
without
I
proper
don't.
process. Yeah.
But I don't think we should be deporting them. What did Donald Trump say that he would deport? How many people? He said 100 million people. 100 million people is not physically possible, bro. How are you going to deport 100 million people? There are people actually living in this country for like 20 years that came illegally, and now their kids are grown up. Their kids are going to university. They're actually contributing to the country. And some of them are actually married like white women. Some of them are married like citizens of the country. They're
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
contributing in a very good way, right? Some of them actually took part in the marine efforts themselves. They fought the wars for. There's a guy who actually fought the war against Afghanistan or like Iraq, and he came illegally, right? So when you're talking about like deporting like 50 million people, that's not the best way. If you are saying we need to secure the borders, what we can do is we can have proper observation around the borders. We can have proper surveillance around the borders. So anyone who's coming in, you have a proper check with them. Oh, did you have a criminal past? Are you smuggling drugs? Like what's going on? Their proper history, and then they go through like a whole process before before they get the citizenship. And by the way, if you want to have like a law that actually prohibits them from getting the citizenship because they didn't come legally, I would be okay with that as well. But I think their sons or their daughters, their children should be able to get the citizenship. They should be able to get it, right? Because there's people that have been living in this country for a long time, and even there's kids have not been able to get the citizenship when they were actually born here and they've been able to contribute to this country a lot. So that's the point that I would have. And you know what I'm talking about, like the illegal immigrants? I don't think they should let everyone in. It's only the people that are actually struggling in the countries, right? So let's say there's a war going on in the countries. Like if there's people fleeing Palestine, I don't know if there's a way to come from Palestine, but you know when Israel was bombing Palestine and you have
Yeah.
kids dying. So if you have like a boat of like 10 Palestinians actually coming to USA through the borders,
Yeah.
I think you should take them.
That would have been a good thing. Yeah.
That would have been a good thing.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, Christianity versus Islam also has great history. Yeah, Christianity versus Islam. Talk about it, dude. Roman
Yeah.
Empire versus the Ottoman Empire. There's so
They've
much.
been
Yeah,
in
Christianity versus Islam.
wars.
Yeah, Spain like became Islamic. Spain, Islam actually took over, and then you
Yeah.
had
At one point, it was. Yeah. It was
Spain, and
popular
then
with Islam.
Christianity
Yeah.
came, and then there were big wars happening. Turkey, there's big wars between Islam. There is back and forth between Islam and Christianity. Persia, Iran, what you call Iran. Persian people actually. So Christianity took over, then Islam took over. Yeah, it's a big history.
It was
And
back and
deporting
forth.
them without the due process is a slap in the face to all Americans and the Constitution. That is a good answer, actually, right? So
Yeah.
deporting them is also a big slap. Because I know what you're saying, Sleepy Times. You're saying like if they're coming without actually getting proper visas and all of this stuff, without the proper process, it's like a slap in the country. Like we made the laws of coming through that regular mean, and you're actually breaking the law. But we can't really tell what situation they're actually fleeing in. Maybe they cannot get the visa, right? There's people actually that are being oppressed in the country, but they can't apply for the visa because their country would reject the visa just based on the basis that which minority they belong to, or because they would that information will actually come out. So I do understand it, but I also said that deporting them without the process is also a slap. Trump is a manipulator and gets rejected in doing so. I can't get my head around the guy. He's a manipulator.
He's a
He
manipulator. Yeah.
definitely he's a self-obsessed person. That's what I would say. Like Trump is always thinking about himself. The Epstein files came out. He's name dropped like thousands of times, and he's like, "Okay, I got to start something." We were already calling this out, by the way, before the Iran war. We actually called it out on the stream. Me and Fike, we both called it
Yeah.
out on the stream. We knew he was going to attack Iran. It was like, and there was no indication, by the way, because they were already destroyed the nuclear base. But we were like, "This is the time to attack Iran." That's what Trump is going to do, and he did exactly what we told everybody that he was going to do. Sakuna is here. Yo, remember you, bro. I remember you joined the stream a few times. Christianity versus Islam was a joke for UFC fight choice. Christian Oh, it was a joke for UFC fight choice. Are we referring to Islam versus Ilya Tapori, or what are we referring to? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Okay. Good one, bro. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they make like an AI video of actually just like Islam as a person versus a Christianity. Sleepy time videos, but I do think if the kids' parents are both here illegally, the kid should go back with them, no stay here. Um, okay. What about the kids? What if the parents come? What if the parents came 20 years ago? The parent came 20 years ago illegally, and now they're living in this country, and the kids are born here, and the kids are getting proper education in the university. And while they're studying in the university, they're also doing a job side by side just to support them through the education. And what if the kids are in the army school, by the way? What's your opinion on that? I agree because the whole thing is to make the country secure, right? And what if the parents didn't have criminal past? What if the parents are like just like good people? And what if the reason of the parents coming here was because the parents were actually attacked in their country because of their religion, or maybe there was a war that actually happened in their country, and that's why they had to flee it. So it was like the
Yeah, a
last
lot of
resort.
people come to these Western countries because they're like in a threat, right?
Hmm.
Even when like a lot of Chechens flee from their country because of war between Dagestan and Chechnya and stuff,
Yeah,
that was going on, and between Russia and Chechnya. It's same
exactly.
with Iran, same with Afghanistan, same with Pakistan.
Yeah,
If you're bombing their country, where do you expect people to go? To stay there and just die?
that's a problem, to be honest.
Yeah.
And by the way, people actually say the U.S. is the only country that is taking the immigrants. You know how many immigrants the Middle Eastern countries actually take? And I know the Western countries don't actually idealize Middle Eastern countries because their laws are different, right? But it's not like the Middle Eastern countries are not taking any people. Do you know how many immigrants Pakistan take from Afghanistan? Do people
Yeah,
have
that's
any idea?
true. Yep.
It's in
So
millions,
many.
by the
Yeah.
way. It's in millions. You know how many immigrants Dubai is actually taking from those countries? Dubai is also taking a lot of immigrants from those countries.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
kids
true.
are in danger in high school in U.S. schools. Yeah, kids are in danger. Are you talking about like those courses that they're taking, or is just like the gun shootings of the kids? Sakuna, we do remember you, bro. Chris is saying sleepy. You will need a state convention to overturn that 14th Amendment. Um, overturn the 14th Amendment. Okay, is that like part of the 14th Amendment? What we're talking about here? Okay, 14th Amendment is granting citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the USA, including former enslaved people, and granted and guaranteed. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and guaranteed all citizens equal protection of the laws and due process, prohibiting states from depriving any persons of life, liberty, or property without legal justification. Citizenship clause. Okay, we're just reading it. Okay, citizenship clause is that overturned the Dred Scott decision by establishing that uh, anyone born or naturalized in the U.S. is a citizen of the U.S. and their state. All right. So if anyone is born in the U.S. or they are naturalized in the U.S., is a citizen of the U.S. and the state. So automatically they would be a citizen according to this one. Okay. Prohibits
Mm,
state governments from denying persons life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Equal protection clause requires states to provide equal protection under the law to all people within their jurisdiction. Cornerstone for civil rights legislation. I mean, at least they gotta follow their own law, right?
yeah.
Uh, Bomber
Very
cloud is
some
coming.
students.
Other countries, very few civilians have guns, that too only for crop protection or genuine threat to life or sports, not just because they want a gun. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Like before I respond to that, your fan is here again.
He's driving. I'm
Juice
actually
Man wouldn't
parked
forget
up
you.
right now.
Juice Man is not
I
gonna
was
forget you ever.
driving, yeah. He just joined a little bit late. I was driving
Yeah.
earlier, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Dude, but USA, everybody loves guns, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Do you think they're all carrying the guns because they have some reasons to carry a gun? Like, are you not telling me that the guys who are going for like hunting, guys who just want to keep the guns because guns look cool, or the guys who are just fans of guns? I don't really know, man. Man, like me personally, I think I would love guns because I also go to like I've been to a gun center in UK as well. I know they don't give you like real guns. Also, when I was in Pakistan, my dad had guns with a license, of course, and guns are a big part of like Pakistani culture as well. But
Yeah,
I just don't think they're the safest things. What do you guys think about the gun laws, by the way? Because the deaths with guns is much higher than deaths with stabbing. So like if you compare the deaths of like USA
mm,
with any of the European countries who have like very strong gun laws, it's much higher in the USA, to be honest. Like how many people are dying because of guns? I can pull up the data right now,
yeah,
but
that's true, yeah. Because
guys,
look
I
at
can
school
give you
shooting, like so many children dying.
so many children dying. You
But
know
with
how many
like
people
knife, you can't kill that many in one go,
with
can you?
multiple people it's
Yeah,
very low. Yeah, yeah. Like you will just be able to kill like one or two people because eventually somebody will be able to grab a knife from you, right?
yeah,
And with guns, it's quite difficult to stop them. The only reason you should have a gun is when you have a home and you keep it for protection. When the homies have them for show, it's foolish. I
yeah,
completely agree with this, and I think there should be more stronger laws on guns. So even if you have a gun, and even if you're keeping it for protection, I think there should be you should get like a proper permission, bro. To be honest, I might even be against that because if you look at the number of deaths, right? Like look at New Zealand, they banned the guns around like early 2000s. As far as I can remember, it's probably 2001 or 2002. Then numbers dropped massively. They only had like maybe 10 shootings since then, and we're living in 2026 right now, right? And you're looking at USA every year. There's hundreds and thousands of like people dying
yeah,
because of guns. So it just the numbers don't lie. So even if you have like a proper house and you're keeping it for protection, I think it should only be for like a few people. If here illegally there is no current or rightful process is only for legal citizens. Um Also, Sleepy is still on his point. He's like, if they're coming illegally, then there is no rightful process. I mean, we can just agree to disagree, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say, to be honest. By the way, the country is actually getting run because of the immigrants as well. They're definitely contributing to the
yeah,
country. Like a lot of businessmen, they actually love the idea of the immigration because then they can actually pay them low, and then big companies love that a lot. Like Elon Musk, you know about that one. Like a lot of
yeah.
people working for his company were actually illegal immigrants, and he didn't have to pay them as much amount. And then he actually stopped the ICE agents from actually deporting those people because he was saving a lot of money through that. So that is also true. Why is my charging only 7%, by the way? Holy shit.
Charging is 7%.
I don't even know why my phone is not even charged. Like it's on charging, but I don't know why it's not charging properly.
And we can do it for a few minutes and then we can.
Yeah, I mean
during
this stream I
nighttime.
can go. I can personally, to be honest, I can go along on this one. I don't really mind it. Like you can pop off whenever you want. I only have
I might
three
leave in
shot.
like few minutes here.
Okay, I only have three shotguns. Chris is saying.
Three shotgun is good amount.
Yeah, what's your three shotguns? So what's your why did you buy the three shotguns, by the way? Is that only for fun? Hmm. Oh my god.
Since I get a gun in the country where I live. Okay.
Okay, Bad Bumbleclad saying only. I've never seen a civilian with a gun in the country where I live. Bumbleclad, where do you actually live? I think I forgot. Is that UK, by the way? Are you from UK or? I just like clays.
Clays. That's an
Uh,
interesting thing.
oh, you're talking about the clay shooting, right? Okay, so I live in LA. So trust me, I see people who shouldn't have guns. I have a friend who swears people are after him and keeps a gun in his backpack. He looks so stupid. I stay away from him. Yeah, I would just stay away from the people who
Yeah,
actually have guns and they're kind of using the guns or actually keeping the guns in the pockets of that because I don't think you need the.
cause yeah, it kind of puts you in danger as well. You know,
It kind of puts
when
you in
you're with them.
danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gun law is in our constitution for the revise of our government if needed. Okay, bro, can I actually respond to that, Sleepy? By the way, so the gun law was actually brought in USA because there was like an oppressive government that you guys had, right? And guns were actually there to protect against the government. They're actually there to protest against the government. So if a civilian today actually brings a gun against ICE, so let's say ICE is deporting people, and they're actually torturing people. Actually, let's say they're torturing the citizens of US as well. Like in case of Rene Good, or let's say in case of Alex Preddy. So if Alex Preddy actually was holding a gun, people are saying, why did you actually bring the guns to the protest? First of all, this is the Second Amendment, right? You have the right to actually carry the guns, but you could also have the point that if he actually did shoot the gun and if he actually does go against them, can you not be on his side and say like, no, but that's his law. That was the reason of the Second Amendment because that was to protect the oppressive government.
Yeah.
Because now,
Exactly.
because it's just because he's on the opposite side doesn't mean that you can now not make an argument about him actually protecting himself against the government. So I think that's where the conservatives might have like some sort of double standards. Okay, let me pull up the deaths. Let me pull up the
All
deaths
right.
actually.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I might just leave now,
yeah, yeah,
and then
you can
I'll
leave now,
join in
bro.
the second one after.
You can join whenever you want. That's completely fine. Let me know, like, yeah, I'm gonna stay on this for a while, but you can leave. That's
All
fine. Have a
right.
good one.
See you
Take
guys
care,
as
bro.
well. Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pull up the deaths in US because gun shooting. Deaths in USA because of guns. Guns. All right. I am sure it's gonna be high, and I'm actually gonna do pull up the data of some of the European countries as well, and some of the maybe the Australian countries to see like what is the difference between them. Okay, so 48,830 in 2021. So in 2021 you had 48,000 people dying because of gun violence, with 58% being suicides and 38% murders. Also the suicides, like suicide, you can have an argument. You could say actually 55% of the ones who are actually committing the suicide, so maybe they could also commit the suicides through a knife. With guns it's just much easier because it takes the pain away, I guess, because you can just shoot your brains out. With knives it's like you have to bleed yourself to death. I think so many people would be hesitant to actually use the knives when they're doing suicides, but like 38% were still murders. Wolfpack, you're smart and I like you, so you know what, am I gonna subscribe? Sleepy, thank you very much, I appreciate that, and that's why I like the open debates as well. The thing about the open debates is that it actually gives people the right to actually convince other people to change their minds and give the other picture as well, right? So like even though I'm against Donald Trump at this time, um even though I'm against the policies, and even though I believe that he's not living up to the policies that he actually said that he was going to do, he's not doing that at all. But I am still open to actually listening to any of the positives that are actually coming out of his government and seeing the other side, like what their opinions are on the important issues like the gun violence issue or the other issues. Thank you, man, Sleepy, I appreciate that. Okay, so in 2023, the CDC reported 46,728 gun deaths. Leading cause, firearms are the top cause of death for US children. Okay, so the problem is a lot of US children are also dying because of this, and teenagers, with gun deaths in this group rising 50% from 2019. From 2019 to 2021, you had gun deaths rising by 50%. And by the way, guys, look at the kids, right? Like if you have like a knife in the house and a kid is actually grabbing the knife, first of all, when you have like any weapons in the house, there should be proper protection, whether it's a knife, whether it's a knife or whether it's a scissor. I would say even if it's scissors, people can actually hurt them, right? Or even like a small blade. But what are the chances of people actually a kid dying from like a knife? Let's say you have like a 4 year old. What is the chance of him dying with a knife? Like he's probably going to grab a knife, even if there's no like proper protection, right? Let's say your kid actually goes to the kitchen, he grabs like a kitchen knife and he's playing with it. First of all, as soon as he touches the skin, there's like a natural reaction that everybody is, because he's gonna feel the pain. So most probably he's not gonna cut himself. But let's say he's like a stupid, the kids are stupid, right? They're supposed to. He's like, I'm gonna play with it, and he actually cuts his, let's say the neck. What are the chances that he's gonna cut himself in a way that he dies? The chances are pretty low. Like even if the knife is sharp, most probably he's gonna have a cut. He's gonna be in pain. He's gonna start crying. Oh, he's gonna be bleeding, and then it would give parents sufficient time to actually get him and then find him, take him to the hospital, stop the bleeding. But what if the child actually carries a gun and by accident he presses the button and then he shoots himself in the head or the neck or even like the arm? The chances of him bleeding to death would be high. So that's what I'm saying. Like even with the children death, guns are just there's just too many people dying because of guns. 32 XD, I love your face. I don't even know what that means. No, I'm not in Pakistan. I was born in Pakistan. I'm in England right now. Yeah, I am in England. I'm in London, UK. Uh, okay, so gun deaths are very significant. Uh, they vary significantly by state with higher rates, often in states with fewer restrictions. It depends on how many restrictions are there as well. Yeah, with some of the states, I guess, where the people are very pro guns, there's going to be more deaths because there's more guns. A 2021 study indicated 7.5 US adults became new gun owners between January 2019 and April 2021. So I think it's probably kind of like a new trend among some of the people as well. Like having gun is kind of cool. So you're looking at the time 2019 and 2021. So it's only 2 years gap. And you have 7.5 million US adults becoming the new gun owners. Okay, as of late 2022, 57% of Americans favored stricter gun laws. Okay, so in 2022, we're seeing a trend where people actually realize that guns are probably not the best. So 57% of the people are actually voting against the guns. They want like more stricter laws when it comes to guns. I wouldn't say like fully prohibiting the guns, but like more stricter laws. And now look at the deaths of guns. So by the way, I presented the data to you guys. You can make the decision by yourself. 48,000 people died in 2021 because of gun deaths in USA. Now, do you want to compare that to some of the other countries? I think with Europe, there's going to be no comparison. So let's say how many how many deaths from guns in UK. And I'm actually, you know what I'm gonna do? If I'm doing the gun deaths in UK, I'm actually gonna do the gun deaths in UK. Plus, I'm gonna do the stabbing deaths in UK because you guys would have a point. You're like, they're not even allowed to have guns. Why are you comparing that to the gun death? So what I will do is I will add the gun deaths with the other weapon deaths. I am still gonna pull up the data for the gun deaths because even though we don't have any guns, there's still people who can sneak in the guns through some other means. They might be able to do that, right? So let's see how many deaths from guns in UK. This is the first one that I'm doing. Okay, guns deaths in the UK are relatively low. Obviously, that was pretty obvious, with roughly 28 to 35 homicides involving firearms recorded annually in England and Wales in recent years. Firearms fatalities constitute less than 1% of the total firearm offenses. The overall homicide rate remains very low at approximately 8.6 per million population in the year ending March 2025. So 28 to 35 people actually die per year in UK. I don't even know the reason why. I don't know where they're stealing guns from. I don't know how it's happening. I don't know if it's the police actually using the firearms among themselves, just messing it up, making a mistake, or whatever is happening, right? But there is 33 to 35%, 35 people actually dying. Now I should look at how many people die because of stabbings in UK. I'm pretty sure even that's going to be much lower as compared to US. How many deaths from stabbings? Now that would be significantly higher than guns because that's what happens in UK most of the time. But as compared to guns, it would be much lower. Um, so we're looking at the knife homicides actually. All right, all right. Okay, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. In 2024 to 2025, there were 205. Guys, 205. So these are the knife stabbings. So you add the knife stabbings to the gun deaths. 205 plus 35 is still 240 to 250 per year. That's how many people are dying. So you see how many lives you can actually save if you have stricter gun laws. And I know UK is a much smaller country than USA. It's not even close to like a state of there might be states in the USA that are actually the same size as the UK. Like UK is a little country. But let's say you multiply it by a few times. US is a much bigger country, so the chances of those things happening are much higher. Plus, USA is actually closer to South America, like some of the other countries like Mexico that have a lot of guns that smuggle a lot of drugs. So the chances for those criminals to actually go inside the USA is much easier as well. So you could have an argument that actually adds to the deaths, but it's still not even close. You're still not even close. If you just ban the guns in USA or make it very strict, make it very difficult for people to actually get it unless they have like a valid reason, I think you would save a lot of lives. I think you would save a lot of lives, to be honest. Okay. Okay, now my phone is getting charged. Oh, bro, my phone, I don't even know what's happening. I'm gonna have to use a different charger for my phone right now because this one is kind of messed up. My phone charge is completely messed up. It's not charging my phone properly. Okay, so I'm gonna have my phone in my hand for like the next 10 minutes or whatever. Okay, my question for a Brit: who is a zombie? What is a zombie knife, and what is a country line gang? County line gang. Okay, maybe I'm not even aware of that, to be honest. This is not the common term that we actually use among our friends. Let me just pull it up. So just like you are unaware of it, I'm kind of unaware as well. So which means that it's not a very popular thing actually. Zombie knife. Okay, so zombie knife 2024, it is illegal in England and Wales to possess, make, transport, or sell zombie style knives and machetes. These are defined as blades over 8 inches. So, blades over 8 inches are zombie knives. Along with a plain cutting edge, sharp point, and features like serrated edges or spikes, possession is now an imprisonable offense. Oh, wow. So, I mean, if you want to look at that, this is the one. Yeah, but it's anything bigger than 8 inches. Bigger than anything short, bigger than 8 inches, I can actually cut you. It is unlawful to produce, sell, import, or possess these weapons. The ban was introduced to reduce violent crime, following an increase in offense involving these, which are often described as having no legitimate purpose other than intimidation. The legislation expanded the Criminal Justice Act 1988 to cover these specific zombie style knives. Okay, cool. Okay, so I was looking at the data, right? So let me give you the knife deaths data in UK. 2024 to 2025, it's 205. 2023 to 2024 is 261. The most that we've ever seen is in 2017 to 2018. That was 282 deaths in the UK because of the knife attacks, but there's no more deaths than that. So 285 is like the max, which is nothing compared to USA. USA beats UK by a great margin when it comes to deaths, and that is nothing to be proud of. Now, let me pull up the data for some of the other countries. Because with the UK, you still have an argument that um they don't have any guns, right? But so I proved my first argument, which is like if you make stricter gun laws in the country, that will actually reduce the number of deaths by like a long shot. But let's check out the death rates on the countries that actually do allow guns. That actually do allow guns. Let's say how many people die. How many people die because of guns in Pakistan? I think it's going to be pretty high. How many deaths in Pakistan? because of guns. Wow, wow, I'm kind of surprised actually. A 2019 report indicated that 2,948 firearm injury deaths were reported in Pakistan, accounting for approximately 1.17 deaths per 100,000 people. So even in a country like Pakistan, where the firearms are like very common, actually, it's very easy to get a firearm. Like getting a license in Pakistan is very easy. They don't ban guns. I mean, I know people personally that actually have the guns without even having the license. I think in the last few years they've actually made like stricter laws. Like at least you have to get a license to actually be able to hold a gun. But even now, dude, there's 2,948. So there's like 3,000 people dying because of guns. In USA, it's like 48,000. And now, if you want to come up with an argument, like look at the size of Pakistan and USA. USA is a much bigger country when it comes to the area than Pakistan. Does it actually make up for that 3,000 to 48,000? That's like 16 times. Is USA actually 16 times bigger than Pakistan? Pakistan is 8,000 kilometers, square kilometers. USA is like 80,000. So USA is probably 9 to 10 times. US is much bigger than Pakistan, to be honest, but it's still more. It's still more. And you would actually expect the USA people to be a bit more educated, a bit more civilized. But I think they're also like bigger fans of guns. Like Pakistani, they do guns. They do fire guns at the weddings. They do fire guns when there's like a gang fight or something like this. But that's pretty much it. They're not doing it for fun. Like wedding thing is more like a tradition that they do. So like at the end of the wedding, there's families that actually just fire guns in the up in the sky. And there could be deaths from that as well. Even though you're shooting the bullet up in the sky, there are cases when the bullet has actually come down and then actually hit somebody. Very rare, and very rarely people die from it. But it can possibly happen. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think that should be happening, but it happens. But it seems like in USA, people are more of like the fan of guns, just like just like the concept of gun, like that is pretty cool in USA. Okay, so the point that I was making previously about like the Australian countries, like the New Zealand actually having stricter gun laws and less people dying because of guns. Let's try that one out. How many deaths in New Zealand? So New Zealand because of guns. Who is celebrating Easter, by the way? Okay, firearm related homicide rates in New Zealand have remained relatively stable from 1998 to 2018, but showed a recent increase to 3.1 deaths per million in 2023 to 2024, the highest since 2006 to 2007. While overall gun violence is low, about 105 fatal gun attacks occurred between January 2004 and March 2019, averaging roughly 11 deaths per year. We're talking 11 deaths per year. That's even much smaller than UK. UK was like how many deaths were in UK? UK was like 28 to 33 deaths per year. In New Zealand, it's 11 deaths per year, bro. And we're talking about a country that is actually bigger than UK. It's much less populated in UK, but it's bigger than UK. So we're talking about much less deaths here. So, guys, I proved my point, and I'm probably gonna come off the stream right now. I'm probably gonna come off the stream, but I will stream again in like 30, 40 minutes, maybe like an hour or something. I need to eat something. So, guys, have a good one. Take care of yourself. If you haven't subscribed to my channel before, please click subscribe, like my comments, like my videos. Thank you.